Hey y'all, Destinations Danny Gen X here, and I'm about to present to you an interview from my girl Phia from New York. She happens to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. She was here in Chiang Mai for a few days and decided to reach out to me to see if we could meet up. And I was like, sure, let's do an interview. What did it take emotionally to make that move? And now that she's been living abroad for a while, how has her experience changed her perspective on life, home, and herself? So, in this video, she talked about some of the negative aspects that she experienced since being here. The good thing is, she didn't talk about Thai people or Thailand in general when she was talking about her cons. And she brought up the fact that when she was researching places to go, she couldn't find people talking about the cons of moving to Thailand. And that is for a specific reason. If you researched anything about Thailand before you came here, you would find that talking about the country while you're in the country, especially in a negative light, may get you banned from the country, may get your visa revoked, and may have you be excluded from goods and services that you need while you're here. So it's not necessarily a good thing to bring up the cons if you're actually living in the country that you want to talk about the cons. My cons are lightweight. The beds are too hard, so I have to buy multiple mattress toppers so that I don't feel like I'm sleeping on bricks. These mattresses are hard and uncomfortable. That's a con. Everything is sweet. I don't eat nacho cheese anymore because it has sugar in it here. I tried curry, it had sugar in it. I don't like wine. Sean my shop wine. God. That means I don't like sweet. Shan my shop wan Thai ahan or ahan Thai. I don't like sweet Thai food. I like chan chap pet. I like spicy food a lot. But I hope you enjoy this interview. I hope to bring you more. I am having even more technical difficulties, and no, I have not made it to the DJI store, even though it's just right across the street at Central Festival Mall. But I have a lot of things going on behind the scenes in my personal life that has been challenging for me lately. It's definitely making it hard for me to want to put figuring out this DJI camera and all the technical stuff in the forefront of my life. But hopefully I'll be moving pretty soon to a point in my life where I can put that first, since I definitely want to make being an influencer be my primary job or my primary source of income. So I have to get that together, and hopefully when I do, I'll be able to show you the first interview that I actually did as it relates to the conversation around the emotional and mental component of leaving. I have a video, I just can't pull it off my camera. It's crazy. Y'all send me well wishes and hopefully we'll get it together. Also, I want to say, and I should have started by saying this, the audio of this video or this interview is not the best. So forgive me beforehand. I will be having the words go across the screen, subtitles. I will use subtitles during this interview. There was just a lot going on, and one of the challenges that I had was the DJI microphones were not working, although they said it was paired. It was paired, but the sound was not paired. Like, I don't understand what that was. Hopefully, when I go to the store, they'll figure it out for me, like what's going on with that. But please just be patient, because I feel like what she said was, a lot of the things that she said was important. And I really want you guys to see that. And so I hope that you get around what you're hearing and pay attention to the words. And please comment, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Hey y'all, Destination Danny Gen Next here, and I am here with my girl Phia, who I've known all of today. And we are going to talk about the psychological impact of moving out of your country of origin and the steps that it took for you to get here. Meaning, a lot of us aren't doing this, not leaving our hometowns, our home states, our home countries, and going abroad. So for me, I definitely would like to know what was going on psychologically with the person that says, I'm picking up my stuff and I'm out. So when you decided the States just isn't working for me, New York exactly is where she's from, what was
Let's go
going
next.
on? What was going on that made you say, I want to leave the U.S.?
I got tired of being like a representative of the race. So, say for example, in corporate, for example, I've had enough experiences from my 20s onward where I'm either the only black face or I'm the only black female or something like that, and I felt this. I don't want to say burden, but I felt a responsibility not only to do well for my own namesake, but also because so many people are closed-minded. And if I do anything wrong, therefore, you see, that's what those people do. So that was one. And then I always knew from traveling from, I was literally in elementary school, that there was a great, big, interesting world out there that I wanted to see. Like, I have a bucket list, and I'm not going to be one of these people on my deathbed that's like, woulda, shoulda, coulda. I feel like a lot of older people, when memoirs start getting miserable and stuff, it's because they're reflecting in their later years thinking about their woulda, coulda, shouldas. And that's not going to be me. I'm going to go out of this plane with guns blazing, knowing that I've done as much as I can and the way I wanted it to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So bucket list was one of the things that made you say, yeah, I want to go.
And y'all little friends too. That the orange man y'all put in the White House. Yeah, that was a little part of it too. But I would, even prior to him, I knew I was leaving. I got a job offer here in Thailand in 2006. No, what I'm talking about, 2020, which was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But that was March, and we know what happened in the middle of March. Everything got shut down. So I got hired at University of King Monk. Pardon me for my English, but King Monk
Have a good
University
trip.
Technology, a university out here, and that's what we did. Yeah. So it's pretty much I'm being intrigued by immersing myself in other cultures. Like, for example, like when I travel, I don't go and stay, like some people think they're like stuck because, I'm at an all-inclusive resort, but you're not really seeing the country. You're not experiencing the different culture that you got on the plane to see, because you can turn up in your local hometown. If it's about the drinks, if it's about whatever, you can go on Grab and order whatever country's food.
Yes.
So whenever I travel, I intentionally try to book from the indigenous people there, or I'll check an Airbnb or whatever, and I'll look to see who the owner is. So I feel like I'm recycling the money back into a person of color's bank account.
Yes, I get that 100%. That's what I was saying when I went to Portugal, and one of the reasons why I didn't stay was because the local people were feeling the hit of us expats coming in and relocating. Now they still want to be a part of that economy. So I think we share the same philosophy about visiting a place, but also giving back to the place, respecting the place that you're in,
Not trying to steal from the place. And I say that with such vehemence because I've been in Thailand for 8 weeks now, and I've seen some interesting things where the expats come here, and I'm talking about expats of all colors, all colors, and we're not treating this country properly. I've seen too many hustles and cons and schemes and scams. So when bloggers are vlogging, they're telling you the beauty of Thailand. So Thailand is beautiful, but you still have to be mindful about which kind of people might be coming here as well. Because if people keep saying, oh, you live in Thailand for $5 a day, like, you're going to be calling forth energies that like to not do anything. So if you don't like to do anything, then you may look at me like, hey, let me get what she got. So there's a lot of us, like for example, I'm going to try to keep it, I gave you several examples, But like, there's no reason why my perm, my relaxer should have cost $238 from a sister who's like, and then it's like, I remember it was T.S. Madison, the, T.S. Madison, they used to be with Kaya on Queen's Court, and he was talking about like them people with the crystals and the natural hair, don't trust them mother effers. And I clutched every pearl. I said, baby, why you say that about the people with the crystal, with the people? With the crystals, yeah, I want the crystals. And unfortunately, it's become very clear what he was talking about, because you would think that if somebody is so woke and so in touch with quote unquote community, that's the last person who would try to, but like I said, the person who might get 238 out of it, like you adding $70 and how much dollars at the last minute for nothing. Or people that I've seen, I went to one lady's birthday party a couple weeks ago in Bangkok, and she straight tried to hustle the restaurant out of a $160 US bill. So when I was trying to get the situation rectified, when I tell you she shot me the look of death across the table, like, you better shut up, like I'm working on something. I was just like, now if I were to hang with somebody like that in the States, why are you gonna come to another country like you ain't never seen Locked Up Abroad before? Why? And not only that, but such a nice country like Thailand. Why are you trying to hustle these people out of their money? It's not like they're Rockefellers. Like if you want to go stick up Walmart or take an extra piece of meat out of their meat section, that's different than taking from people who are in some way they're just like us. So yeah, I have quite a few stories where I'm seeing some hustle and stunts, whether it's in Chiang Mai or whether it's in Bangkok. Yeah, it's calling forth the unsavories from all across the world.
Absolutely. And I remember before I left the country watching videos about where I wanted to be, and I heard stuff like that, specifically about in Bangkok and other places in Africa. Like, I don't think that I would travel to Nigeria as a single black woman being my age, because I just don't feel like trying to escape the hustle. But the fact that I have to worry about it is the problem. And because my mouth isn't set up right, I might be one of these women that might get beat up in the street. So there's no reason for me to go to Nigeria. But I want to bring it back. I was talking about the psychological component of what made you me. So travel for you is important. The bucket list was important, and I'm also hearing you say that you wanted to have cultural experiences wherever you go.
And where I wasn't seen as black. So so Panama was high on my list. Jamaica was on my list. I think Barbados was on my list. Portugal was on my list, but I didn't want to do New York. I was just doing my due diligence research. I've also lived in Ghana. I have a multitude of stories that I can tell you that go for what you said also, that fall under the umbrella of misogyny. It's one thing to hear the term misogyny, it's another thing where you actually live it every day. So say for example, I'm not a black man in Mississippi, but I can imagine being a black man in Mississippi, waking up every day, you know you're a black man in Mississippi, right? And all that comes with that, right? Every day I woke up in Ghana feeling like you're a female, and not something like, yeah girl, whatever. It was just like, you're going to be punished because of this. You're not going to get proper service because of this. And so the expats, we would get together and we'd be like, we're swapping stories, and this is 2000 to 2001. So when COVID hit and they were bringing, I couldn't come to Thailand to do that job at the university, I was like, y'all not about to lock me up in this country. I can't go nowhere. Girl, she gonna spread her wings and fly somewhere. I said, where's the borders open? And they were like, Africa. I said, okay, Africa it is. So I went over there till things settled down, and then yeah.
But you have to experience it to
there's no word.
Yeah, in order to understand. Like we've been talking about off camera, me saying that I want to go, and I hear her what she's saying. But again, if I haven't been there to experience it, I can't say that I'm not going because she said of what she experienced. I might get there and experience the exact same thing, or I might get there and be like, it's tolerable for me because I like this over that, or I experienced it. Like so many things here in Thailand that I can say I don't necessarily care for, but I can say overall, mentally, I feel safer here. Emotionally, I feel safer here. And so I want to see what that feels like in Africa, or if I can experience that
it maybe even at a higher level in Africa, but emotionally, I'm not checked out of. The only place I am checked out of going is Nigeria. I wouldn't do that unless I was with a man,
Yes.
or somebody from Nigeria. But still, that doesn't mean that I'm writing off Africa. I still want to experience it for myself, which leads me to when I first got here and Taj interviewed me. I remember someone specifically asked under his post of me, why did you choose Asia?
Right.
It wasn't a choice. It was kind of like what made sense at in the moment. But that doesn't mean that Asia is where I plan on stopping. It's a big world.
Right.
And even if I stop in Africa, it doesn't mean that I'm going to stay in Africa. It will only work for me unless if I'm in the moment and I'm saying, this works, this makes sense for my life. But if it doesn't, oh well, it was a place that I went to visit and might circle back. In fact, I might circle back to Thailand, but I don't want to get stuck in one place and say this is it. You know what I mean? It's a big world. I want to partake. So since you've been gone now, we said 8 weeks. What's the mental load for you now? Meaning, emotionally, how do you feel having left the country and experienced everything that you experienced?
When I tell you I don't be thinking about y'all, I don't know what Orange Man is doing, what Mr. Orange Sickle Popsicle got y'all going through, and girl, it feel good. It really does. Okay, so that's one. And then I was getting my nails done, and the nail tech's mom walked by, and then she was just like, oh, that's right. I'm telling you, this was weeks ago. Like when she put her hand on my shoulder, she was like, this, that, and the other, and there was such a transference of humanity in that moment that I'm remembering it 5, 6, 7 weeks later.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of the nail techs in America are Vietnamese and Chinese, and a lot of us still travel there. Knock yourself out, it's not for me. Like a country that has billboards that say, I've been in education for over 20 years, and my license in America, my teaching license when I was a teacher, was in ESL, English to Foreign. So I'm very aware of billboards that say ESL teachers wanted, blonde hair, blue eye preferred, no Africans. But you as a colored person, just because you're not African, you can overlook that on a highway. I'm not African, but I'm African enough that I feel some kind of way, because it's and like I was telling you what happened when I was in Abu Dhabi, that made me say, like, you know what, I'm going to change course from the two interactions I just had in the airport during that layover. But how I feel since I've been here, I don't think about America a lot. I'm glad that I'm forgetting about America. Sometimes a news thing will come down my profile, my timeline rather. And I just wonder about you guys. Like, how do you sustain? How come you're not like it upset? Like, there's an upsetment that manifests in terms of arguing online or voicing it, but are you effective? What are you doing about it? Like, you got two types of people. You got the people who argue about a bill when it comes, or a bad service. But if you don't want to pay what the bill says, you should have contacted the manager.
Yeah.
So you actually, who knows, that waitress may have been a chronic bad worker, this, that, and the other, and now you're sticking it where it matters in the person's pocket. So what are you doing about your personal angst about staying in America? Because complaining on Facebook boards, that's not doing anything. You may feel temporarily better, but you're still in the matrix, and it's by choice. Because my dad is Caribbean, and when I tell you, if I tell him something about my finances, about a dude, about something I'm considering, anything, he gonna tell you one thing: life is full of choices. I'm like, sir, I didn't tell you that whole long thing for you to tell me life is full of choices. But essentially what he's saying is, life is full of choices. Whatever you choose, be prepared for the consequences. So if you choose to stay in America, where you are constantly under threat and constant attack, if that's what your choice is, then be prepared to accept the hypertension, the high blood pressure, the illnesses that come from eating constantly over-processed food and this, that, and the other. Now, the Thai food, I'm going to tell you, I was surprised at how sweet everything is, how salty everything is. Everything has mounds of oils on top of this. So I'm going to go back to cooking in the house a little bit. But yeah, I just feel freer here, and I have no regrets about leaving.
Absolutely.
what was the process in between you saying I'm out and actually getting on the plane? What was the mental load that happened there? Meaning, did you have to have debates with people? Did you have to cut people off, or like what?
I have to, because my parents already knew, like, I was the nomadic spirit. So I remember one Tuesday, I called my dad in the middle of the day. I was like, "Hey, pops, what's up?" And he said, like, "Where you are now, Africa?" I said, "No, but I'm going in 2 weeks." And I was like, "How you know?" But I've always been the one that's like, "Ooh, I saw something on the Travel Channel, and I researched their culture, and I want to go. I want to go see what their little ceremony is like."
That part.
And I can hear somebody saying, "Oh, what kind of job does she have that she can do that?" When I tell you that is largely irrelevant, because if you have an objective, if this is what your mind is, you say, "This is what the lifestyle I want. How do I get there?"
That part.
And can I add, how do I get there without conning my brothers and sisters? Going back to what I was saying earlier about, I'm the biggest, like I said, I feel free here, but the biggest annoyance, aside from, it's not an annoyance, it's a disappointment. That's the word. The biggest annoyance is the heat, which you get used to. But if heat is the biggest problem, living in a country, girl, you can, because we back home we taking a different kind of heat.
Yeah.
A kind of heat that you're not sure if you're gonna make it, especially if your son's gonna make it back home at the end of the day. Whereas the disappointment that I'm seeing, whether it's, so you got Chiang Mai, you have Bangkok, and then you have the Phuket and Pattaya, which are the major 4 cities in Thailand, and each of them have a different reputation. I've been to 2 of the 4, and I'm just, and so I'm just, like I mentioned, the thing about finding your tribe. People, this is the thing, the bloggers tell you, "Oh, you find your tribe," but they do not tell you that in the process of finding your tribe, there's a lot of people, right, who are just saying, "Oh, look at that video, I can go over there and live for $300 a month, $200 for food, $100 for transportation." They're struggling to come up with $600 a month, and they will see you as a brother and sister, but they're also seeing you as an ATM and as a prospective victim of their bullshit. Okay? And if it was one incident, I couldn't make that generalization. If it was 2, I couldn't. I've seen it way too many times in this past 8 weeks. And I'm just like, what kind of bleep are we on over here? So when they have that saying, all kinfolk ain't kinfolk, you're right, because everybody's not trying to hustle somebody else. I can't fathom trying to see somebody with melanin and me thinking, "I need $1,000 a month to live. Let me see what I can get out of her." My mind doesn't function that way. And that's a part of the reason why people maintain being stuck, because you don't understand the principles of giving. You don't understand how karma works, because she may be late sometimes when she coming to your door. And that's why some people can't be blessed. They always looking at other people. They're looking from a predatory perspective. They grew up scratching and surviving, and now they see their sibling or their cousin or another person of color, and they scratching to survive. When if you just do the right daggone thing, but try, I promise you, commit yourself to doing the right things, doing right by people, rectifying things that you have done wrong to people. Just do that for about 2 or 3 months. I guarantee you're going to see God, universe, whatever you call it, start to give you signals, or see, like, see, you don't have to live like that. You don't have to do people like that in order to get what you need done. And the unfortunate thing is, if you think so little of yourself that you want to live a life where you put yourself in danger, because when you go to another country and you're putting yourself in a position where you can get in trouble in another country, you can't tell me you love yourself. You can't tell me you love yourself. When you look at somebody and you're not smart enough to realize, instead of me trying to con her out of $50 or con this restaurant out of $50, let me play my cards and be nice and see who the person is. Because, like, let's go back to the hairdresser person. Yeah, you tried to hustle me out of it and did like $70 too much. She charged me 20-something dollars worth of tax. You don't pay tax in Thailand.
Right.
What are you talking about? There's no W-2 form, so this, that, and the other. When she just started adding stuff, I said, you know what? I'm in her living room. Let me just give this. And so she cut, because she's so small-minded as an entrepreneur, because baby, Chiang Mai, everybody's an entrepreneur. Everybody's an entrepreneur. She could have had $150 from me and word of referral, because she does natural hair as well. But you're so short-sighted. You just cut off future blessings and connections, because your hustle is illegit. You got the skill, but then you don't have the integrity. And I'm talking about for me. I've seen that when you do things the right way, God is gonna bless you.
Absolutely.
As a promise, as a guarantee.
The thing is, people have to understand that wherever you go, you are who you are. So if you was a hustler, scammer in the States, you're going to be a hustler and scammer in whatever country you land. That just doesn't go away. Fortunately for me, I haven't experienced that. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to. But I just hope that that's not my story. But again, it's about understanding that wherever you go, there is going to be a certain type of people. It's not going to change regardless of the country. What changes is how you respond to the upset that's been brought your way. For me, I didn't have this experience per se, but I just prefer not to be a part of groups. You know what I mean? I get into a group and then I get the knowledge that I need, or I ask for things that I need, but I don't want to become a group member where I now have to show up and act and respond or be with, because I'm not a group person at heart. Like if you were to see me in Atlanta streets, you wouldn't see me hanging with a bunch of people. I'm just not that person. And so for me, I carry that same attitude here. I'm going to have a genuine connection with you, and if there's no genuine connection, we don't need to break bread. Because like she said, that saying, all skin folk ain't kin folk. I know that 100%. And anything that makes me feel reminiscent of the disorganization or the crab in the barrel mentality that we experience as blacks in America, I'm not taking it entirely. Like, I didn't fly to Asia to go to have that. So
the thing is, a crab don't know it's a crab.
that's the truth.
They got social media thinking they lobster baby.
Right. And I'm not here to see. I don't want to challenge or change people. If I notice it, I'm out. It's just that simple. Like, I'm not here to fix nobody but me.
That's what a lot of the folk in Chiang Mai say, because let me give y'all a little secret. So the folk that tend to dominate Chiang Mai, the expats, those are the spiritual ones who are so woke and they're running from debt everywhere. What you said, those are ones that really couldn't make it in the States. So me as a nature-loving person, I said I gotta go to Chiang Mai and visit. But baby, I was there for 3 days, and I said I need to find somebody. So I remember Jervin. I said, who out there is kind of normal, who may understand what who is from Chiang? Because I was just seeing too much stuff even in 3 days.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think it's sort of like who you're drawn to then dictates your experience. So it's about understanding, hold on, would I be hanging with this person at home? And not even hanging with, agreeing with, associating with. Because I'm going to listen to how you talk, how you present yourself, and if it doesn't fall in a category of ease, I don't really need it.
And that's the thing. I think a lot of us, we hear community, and the black community in Thailand, and I know I did, and this is somebody I've lived internationally and I moved 17 times in 6 years at one point. Because I was just bucket listing, crossing stuff off. And there's a black contingency out here. There's a number of black people here. But I remember even I was looking around for the black, the dinners that was held here on Sundays, because that was the black community in Chiang Mai, only to find out that the person's no longer here and it fell apart. So from what I'm hearing, the community is all over the place. And so if you're like me and thought, oh, there's a black community, it's black, but it's not necessarily a community. And you're going to have to do the same amount of due diligence. Just like me personally, one of my pet peeves, I don't like people who carry on in public. You loud and now you get me in a house party, you turn on Michael Jackson, I'm the first person dancing on the table. That's me. But I don't do all that carrying on in public. And it's like, inside voice, guys, inside voice. Right? But some people, it's like a lot of bickering, a lot of negative energy, and just, I was like, wait, this is the land of Wusa, especially Chiang Mai. but there's so much like, this person doesn't like, I mean, if you're allowed to like what you like and don't like what you don't like, but when, I call it the spirit of the disagreeable. When you got a problem with everything all the time. Everybody wants pizza today, and you just like, well, you got it all the time, sis. Look at the mountains. Look at this scenery that we are in, and you fussing and carrying on. This one is fussing, carrying on. This one is so woke. She's like trying to judge you because you have a perm in your head. Meanwhile, she all of 300 pounds, so you don't care nothing about physical health. You worried about what's growing out of my scalp.
Right.
Get your life together. And then you got this one that's arguing over just nonsense. Well, when they think, oh, she smokes cigars, she don't smoke weed, and I don't ask you what you smoke. It's too much.
Too much.
And it's crazy the amount of judgmentalness, con artistry, and it never got. I feel because in back home in New York, I didn't have this kind of stuff. Like people say, bad things are everywhere, but that particular thing, I was not fully familiar with until I moved to like DC, etc. That everything got, New York, when I tell you as much stuff as people say about New York, the thing that is beautiful about it is you can always trust them because if they don't like you, they just don't mess with you. You don't have to worry if they're trying to take something from you or if they gossiping about you behind your back because they probably said it to your face first. That safety, we let you know what day and time we coming, as opposed to being in the South where they're on the porch talking about this, that, and the other. They talking about you when you walk by. They say, "Hey girl, see you on Sunday." I got time for that. I digress, but I think it's important to note that all of the stories that you hear that's positive about Thailand, they're all true. But I really wanted to let people know some of the challenges that people face that they might face when they come.
In essence, what you're saying is you are always nomadic. So traveling the world was not going to be something that didn't happen for you, is what I'm hearing you say. I'm also hearing you say being here has disheartened you in a lot of ways with your experience with the black community and thinking it was going to be one thing, but then coming and seeing that it's totally different.
Or partially, because the good is still here. The good of us is still here, but it's almost like you're going to see as much of the opposite.
Yeah. But for the people that haven't come here yet or gone anywhere outside of their country, I'll say don't go with expectations because your expectation is always going to be squelched because you haven't really experienced it. You know what I'm saying?
It's hot out this.
So if you don't have an expectation, that's a good thing. But also just remember, again, people are who they are. Regardless of what country they're in, they're going to show up with who they are. So don't think that you're coming to a utopia that you'll never experience something that's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's unrealistic to believe that you're not going to have an experience that kind of throws you off or makes you feel like, what the hell? Or why did we get here? Or why is this going on? You know what I'm saying? But overall, mentally, do you believe that the best thing for you to do was to leave the States? And would you do it again?
Absolutely.
100 times.
20 times over.
A million times.
For sure.
So yeah. If you're thinking about leaving your country of origin, think about the psychological component that makes you want to do that. What are you needing to get rid of? What are you needing to change? What are you searching for? And what country do you think you'll find it in? And even if you think that you will find it in that country, trust and believe you'll get there, have an experience, and everything may shift. Even with her telling me about Africa now, it's like I'm keeping it in the back of my mind, along with other conversations that I've had since I've been here from other black women who said something similar. Not maybe necessarily the misogyny piece, but, being in the LGBTQ plus community, most women don't feel safe going to Africa or any country in Africa because of that. I'm saying because of my age and being a woman, I don't want to go to Nigeria, but at the same time, I'm not going to let it limit me. And don't let it limit you. Think about why you want to leave. Think about what you need to do to get out. And then think about what you'll feel once you're gone. And it seems like even with the challenges that Phia has had, she is still happy that she left I'm still happy. 13 months later that I left, and you made me be happy too that you left. So until next time, you guys, I want y'all to be easy out here in these streets. We're gonna be easy out here in these international streets. She's located in Bangkok. Is only here until tomorrow. I'm sure you'll see her again with me when I go to Bangkok to get my locks treated. And y'all be easy until next time. Thank you so much. And I think I made a friend, y'all. I made a friend. Y'all be